always striving to do the right thing with the intentions of doing right things is what matters that we have to align by. So if you can't do the small things right, you ain't gonna be able to do the big things right.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Paul Tully, FYI Podcast. Today, we got an incredible guest with us. We're going to jump into some real inspirational stuff as we do on the FYI Podcast. So this is Finding Your Inspiration, where we find your inspiration and we follow it. Today, I'm sitting here with Dakota Meyer.
Yeah.
This guy's story is off the racks. But we're going to talk to what I consider a man that has no boundaries and has done some of the most ultimate, man. Some Medal of Honor recipient.
Yeah, man.
I'm honored, man.
No, I appreciate you having me on. You know, it's kind of unfair though that you bring me on your podcast and you tell me right before we go live that you were on a ship like this for 4 years. So I'm on your turf. You know what I mean? Like you brought me in on your turf.
Well,
I see what you did.
I had to have some kind of safe ground, man.
I see what you did, man. I see. You brought me in on your turf. I get it.
I listened to your incredible story. I haven't read the full book yet. Just getting it tonight.
Awesome.
So I can't wait to read it. But I did watch some of your other podcasts that you've done, and pretty intimidating to sit here with you, brother.
No, man. Listen, you know what? We're all just we're more alike than we're not. You know what I mean? Like, we're all just as good as our last at bat, right? And so it's like, I might have been good a couple of days, but who's good today, right? It's like every day you wake up, you get in the ring. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That. I know that we use the word heroic, and I've seen, you don't like to say what you did was heroic. Is it okay to say that what you did was extremely selfless and courageous?
I think where we mess up with the word hero and heroic, it's an important word, right? But heroic. It identifies an action in a result, and it doesn't identify the question for the heroic is, and when you look at this, is how long can you live off of what you've done? Like, how long do you get to live off the credibility of what you've done? Right. So I think heroic is a moment in time, but you have to decide if you live up to those ethos, right? Like heroic is the results of you doing the right thing, doing the hard thing against adversity. It's you stepping up to the plate, fighting for good, and then the results of that sometimes is heroic, right? But like heroic's a moment in time. It's not something you live with. You get to just validate the rest of your life to not do anything else, right? Like, when people look at other people and they say, "Gosh, you've done enough for this country," it's like, no, you haven't. Like nobody has, right? Like we will all die and go to our graves in debt to this country of what it gives us, and. So I look at that word, and when I think about the word heroic, it's very important, right? It's very, very needed, and it's an identifying word, but it's identifying of an action, not of a person. Nobody does character, or nobody does, just because you've done a heroic action doesn't mean you're a good person.
Right. Correct. Well, I love what you're saying too. It's like staying in the moment, right? It's like living on what we did in the past. It means something, but what are you doing today, right? And this for the everyday person as well. This isn't just for, a Marine in battle in the front line. This is for an everyday person. It's what are you doing every day right now in the present to make those choices that make you heroic? Or
look, you take a single mom who's out there still getting after it, raising her kids, in the face of adversity, right? You talk about some of the hardest. That's way harder than war, right? And who gets up and still gets after it, doesn't become to the victim to her circumstances, that's heroic in my mind, right? But like all those things matter is exactly living in the moment in time. I look at it and it's, when you're driving your car and, look, it's called the road of life, and it's like driving your car. If you try to drive your car by looking in the rearview mirror, looking at what you just passed,
right? What
are you going to do? You're going to wreck.
You're going to crash.
Yeah. So you better be looking through that windshield. It only matters what's next. It's only that next mile that matters.
Yeah. I love that. Man, I love that. I love that a lot. Let me ask you a question. This is something I've been, knowing about what happened that day and what you did. And, what were you feeling, man, physically? What was that? Have you ever felt that feeling before in your life? Was it relatable to anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a firefighter, right? So I mean, I still get on the back of a truck and I still go get busy all the time. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just a moment in time. You know, it's not, and it really comes down, you know, that day taught me more than what I'll tell you is what I learned from that day and the changes that it made to me as a human being that day, you know, is probably the most, it was probably the most life-changing day of my life. As far as a person, right? It taught me more about life. It showed me the very best of human beings. It showed me the very worst of human beings. It showed me, it's brought me to the depths of hell. It's brought me to the highest moments of my life. You know, all those things. And there's so many lessons to be learned. And it's our job to learn from those, though, right? And, you know, and so, you know, I don't, it's not like you feel some, you know, people always think that they're going to rise to the occasion. Right. And that's not the case. You're going to fall to the lowest standard of what you have lived by. Yeah. Right? Like when shit hits the fan, you don't rise to the occasion. You don't get Superman strength. You don't all of a sudden just become this incredible human being. Maybe you do momentarily, but like, you know, if it lasts for more than 2 seconds, you know, you're going to fall to, you know, the lowest standard of training or the lowest standard that you've lived by. And that's going to be what decides where you're at. Right. And so there was nothing crazy about the feeling that day. I mean, I was scared, right? I mean, you know, anybody that ever goes to combat that says they're not scared, you know, you have to wonder if they're a sociopath. Right. Right. I was scared for my teammates. You know, I was scared that I was never going to see them again. You know, there was a lot of emotions there, but at the end of the day, you know, I mean, it was just about getting through it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, and looking for my teammates, you know.
How important was training and preparation for that moment, and how much did that really play?
You know, it was, look, you know, all of us every single day, you know, at some point, everybody in this room is going to be tested. It's just the reality of it. You know, we're all gonna be tested at some point. You know, every day we're tested at a micro level, right? And ultimately, you know, those micro decisions that we make it's really just prepping for the results of that day we're going to be tested, right? So yeah, I mean, absolutely, training was instrumental, but what it was more was I was around people that held me to a standard. They held me accountable. People that held me. You know, in life, you either have to always do good things or you never do good things, right? Like in the military, you either hold the standard or you don't hold the standard. You don't get to pick and choose, right? As a law-abiding citizen, you either follow the laws and believe in all the laws or you're a criminal, right? Like there's no in between on these things, right? Like I call these people fence sitters, right? And they're the ones that say, oh, life's not black and white. Bullshit. Life's black and white, right? There's results, there's the right thing to do and there's the wrong thing to do in every situation, right? And so, you know, always striving for good and doing the best that you can and doing the right thing. You know, look, you're not always going to do the right thing. You're not going to get it perfect, but always striving to do the right thing with the intentions of doing right things is what matters, that we have to align by. So when you look at training, training's good. Training's important, right? But it was more about the people that were around me that made sure that the training meant something and everything was habitual about trying to strive to be better every single day, right? Like if you can't do the small things right, you ain't gonna be able to do the big things right. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you can't be kind to everybody, you can't be kind to anybody, right? Like it's one of these things that, like, you know, everything is habitual. You know, you can try to pretend, you know, for a little bit, hold up this, you know, pretend to be something. Yeah. But when the test comes, the results are going to be of who you truly are. Yeah. You know, the reality is I could look at everybody that's standing in this room right now and everybody's had the worst day of their life. Right. You know, everybody's had the worst day of their life. And the worst day of their life is no more significant than the worst day of my life. Right? It's the worst day of their life. And, you know, everybody's out here trying to see who's had the worst day, right? And it's like, really, that doesn't matter. It's all that we've all know what the worst day's like, and what are we going to do with that now?
Yeah. Yeah, wow. That's powerful. You're right. It's like, what makes somebody else's adversity less than mine, you know? And
because it's not. Like, why are we trying to measure it?
Right.
Like, it's almost like getting punched in the face. Both of us getting punched in the face and see who, it's
who
all.
it affects more.
Yeah, who got punched harder, right? Like, it's like, you know, it's like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
You know, my buddy told me today, we were having a whole conversation about this. He talked about, like, you know, people, what they don't understand is that you have to choose to be happy, and you have to earn your happiness every single day. Everybody wakes up depressed. We all wake up at the same spot.
Right.
But it's, what do you do to get happiness and earn it that day to be happy, right? And so, like, it was like one of, by far, top 10 most profound statements that I've ever had somebody say to me.
Right. I heard her saying one time, it was pretty cool. It was actually a woman that was on the podcast. She said, you know, it was the buffalo statement. I don't know if you heard it, but she said a buffalo
and the cow.
Yeah. So you know it. So
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I had never heard that before, and it, like, changed so much of my perspective of how I look at problems and just face them and run through the storm, you know, get through it quicker.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is like, you know the shit that's making you unhappy.
Yeah.
We all know it.
Right.
Let me tell you the most dangerous thing for us.
What's
it's
that?
comfortable. Being comfortable. We will choose comfortability and security in that being comfortable.
Right.
Over doing the hard thing to make life better. So many people do that, right? They settle for that. But it's kind of the same thing. I mean, look, we all know. We all look in the mirror and we know the shit that we're doing to contribute to where we're at in life.
Right.
It's like we try to ignore it or justify it or make an excuse about it. And it's like, you know, we're only going to get one of these lives to live.
Yeah, man, I got to lose weight, man. And just like sitting here with
what's
you,
stopping
I'm like,
you?
yeah, that's exactly.
Let me ask you, what's stopping you?
Man,
let's talk through it.
Laziness.
Yeah, but
laziness and self-sabotage. I mean,
self-sabotage.
I constantly self-sabotage. I don't know.
I mean, you're a good dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So, I mean, why? But why? Look, why?
I don't know. I know what to do.
Yeah.
I know how to do it. And I go a couple weeks. I'm killing it, you know, and then I don't know what it is. It's like something, I go on a binge, you know, eating. Gave up the drinking, gave up the smoking, gave up the gambling.
Yep.
Literally my last vice, man, that's killing me, you know, Dakota, is food.
Yep.
It's killing me, bro.
So, you know, food is like, it's kind of like, it's a dopamine rush, right? Like, you know, you eat this shit, it makes you feel kind of, that sugar makes you feel kind of high, right? So here's what I'll tell you. How much do you sleep?
I'm trying to get at least 6.
No, so you gotta get 8.
I don't get enough.
So people ask me all the time. So I get up every morning at 4:27 a.m., right?
Yeah.
And people are always like, gosh, how do you get up so early? Everybody worries about what time we get up.
Right.
And it's like, look, your day starts when you go to bed. The most impactful thing on your day is how much sleep you get the day before. Right? Like the single most impactful thing to your day, starting to you having energy through the day, to how you feel through the day, is the time that you go to bed. So your day doesn't start when you wake up. It starts when you go to bed, right? So you've got to switch that. You've got to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Make going to bed your priority more than what time you get up. I want you to start with 3 things. All right?
Tell me.
I want you to start going to bed like 8 hours from when you want to get up, right?
Yeah.
Like start having a good habit going to bed. Don't be drinking soft drinks or any type of caffeine or eating a bunch of within 3 hours of going to bed.
Okay.
Right? Give your body a little bit of time. When you wake up, the first thing I want you to do is either take a cold shower.
Okay.
Right? I don't care how bad it sucks, how bad you don't. The more you don't want to do it, the more you need to do it, right?
Okay.
Go work out. Go walk. Just walk for 45 minutes a day, right? And then what I want you to do is everything you put in your body, eating throughout the day, right? I want you to ask yourself, is this helping me lose weight or is this making me gain weight? Is this good for me or is this bad for me? And I want you to say it out loud. This water is good for me. You know what? I'm getting ready to eat this pizza. This pizza is not good for me and it's not helping me achieve my goals.
Okay.
And if you still choose to eat that pizza,
right?
Well, like you don't really care about your goals and you don't care about yourself.
I'm not loving myself.
You need to start putting yourself first.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
No, you know what? Hey, check that. I'm going to run an Ironman. It's been a dream of mine.
Okay.
I'm saying it right now on this interview.
When are you going to do it?
I'm going to keep in track with you.
Next year.
I need a year, realistically.
Okay, next year.
Next year.
Yep.
I'll keep in touch with you.
Let's do it. I'll run one with you.
Stop it.
Seriously, I'm running a 100-mile race in December.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's do it, brother.
Okay,
I
next
promise
year,
I'll do it. Let's do it. 2024. We run it
right
together.
Here. You see it right
here. It's right here.
I'm going to tell you this: it's going to be a lot easier for you to run it if you get rid of some of that weight.
Yeah, no, you're going to run it with me for real?
100%.
Let's go. No, I want that.
Right,
I need that.
Done.
My man.
Done. I'm telling you, you're going to run it.
No,
whether you're at this weight or whether you're 20 pounds lighter. I don't care. You're going to run the.
I got it. No,
if you don't run it in 2024, you have to quit the podcast.
Oh, it's my livelihood. Let's go.
I guess. So
Let's go, brother.
Let me tell you what's more than your livelihood is that
my word and that weight.
Word and that weight.
Let's go. No, let's go. I needed that. Dakota.
There you go.
Let me ask you. All right, I know you're busy. I want to segue to something you just talked about. It's what we just talked about. The people who choose the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
I noticed you've mentioned this before. What advice do you have for the people out there that constantly fight what I've been doing, that keep choosing that path? How do you tell them that when they're at that crossroad not to choose the path of least?
There's nobody on the face of this planet that always chooses the right path.
Right.
But like you're not going to be perfect. Like you're human. But it's about nobody goes up. Even the best hitters in baseball don't always hit perfect. Right. But it's about hitting the majority, getting more right than wrong.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what I tell you is, we've put this whole perspective, the reality of most people, the expense of where they're at is because they try to help everybody else. They put everything else before themselves.
Right.
And it's like, you got to start putting yourself first. Right. The problem in the world right now, the single most problem we have, it's that we've got broken people trying to lead broken people. Right? And so we've got to fix ourselves before we can go out. The most impactful thing that we can all do is be an example. And then on top of that, go out and share. Like, look, the only way I can tell you what I just told you was because I had to do that.
Right.
Our obstacles and struggles that we go through in life, they mean nothing unless we can help others get through their obstacles and struggles to make them better, right? So, we all have an obligation, and I believe that life is really simple.
Yeah.
I think that if you have the ability to do good, you should do good. And if you don't have the ability to do good, you should spend all your time focusing on coming up with the ability to do good.
Right.
And then when you have the ability to do good, you can go do good, right? Like that's ultimately what life is about, and once you start getting on that path again, once you see and once you start putting yourself first again, look, if you don't believe in yourself enough to get healthy,
right,
why would anybody else?
Right.
You know what I mean? Raise the standard.
Yeah.
Right. Society tells you that, you got to have balance and, you deserve to take a break and all this. And at the expense of your health, at the expense of your mental health. I'll tell you this. You're not happy. You're not happy. You're not happy being overweight.
No, absolutely not.
None of us are.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, we can fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's such an awesome thing and empowering when we can sit here and I look at you and I go, I'm not saying these things to you because I'm trying to pick on you. I'm saying them to you because I love you so much.
I appreciate
that. I want you to be the best version of you.
Yeah, I want that feeling, man.
Right?
I need that feeling.
Yeah. You listen, and it ain't a big deal. It's like, hey, man, like I want you to be the best you. And we've got to look at each other and we got to start pushing each other to be the best versions of us instead of feeding into everybody's bullshit.
Right.
About like, I'm depressed, and it's like, check, I got it, right? Got it. But you're also drinking every single day.
Right.
You're also going out cheating on your wife 24/7. You're, call each other out. Right? Everybody needs to be called on their to do the right thing. And it's like, we've got this mental health crisis, whatever you want to call it, in the world.
Right.
And it's like, man, depression, anxiety, PTSD. They're not rocket science, right?
Yeah.
They're not terminal illnesses. They're injuries.
Right.
But I'll ask you this. You're not a medical professional, right?
Nope.
But if you broke your leg and you never went and got it healed and you just kept running around on a broken leg for 10 years and you never rested it, you never went to a doctor, would it get better or would it get worse?
A lot worse.
Man, we're not even medical professionals here, right?
We figured that out.
So what do you think happens with anxiety and depression and PTSD, right?
Right.
It's the same.
Yep.
And so it's like, look in the mirror, start taking responsibility for your actions, change up the shit you're doing. But again, we've got to have people. And so when you talk about why I did what I did that day, why I am where I am, I mean, I can't take credit for it. All I can take credit is that I surrounded myself with people that refuse to buy into my bullshit and that hold me accountable.
Right.
Right. And so it's about being around people that you want to be like, surrounding yourself. Nutrition to me is more than just what you eat. Like, how much TV are you watching? Are you watching a bunch of the news? Like, all that depresses you, right?
Yeah, TikTok, poisoning,
Instagram,
stuff we can't change anyways. We're focused on. It
doesn't matter.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. So what I would tell people to do is like, hey, look in the mirror. And I've actually got a book coming out in next April. We'll do another podcast when it comes out.
Let's do it.
Because we're going to talk about what you changed up by then.
Absolutely.
And so we've got it's a book called Why to What, right? And it's about going from subjective living to objective living, right? So whenever I look at you, if I said, man, why are you overweight? You're going to make up all these crazy excuses, right? Oh,
my thyroid's slow.
My thyroid's slow. Or whatever, right? Or my this is out of whack. Or man,
I'm Italian.
I just don't. Yeah, right. Or my parents, it's in my genes, right? And it's like, hey, what's the problem? What are you eating? You know what I mean? When I start getting into the what line of questioning,
right?
Like, listen, there's objective things that you can change. You can take action on that, right? People, I truly believe with every moral fiber of my being, that people in this world, they want to be better than what they are. I truly believe that the majority of people want to do the right thing.
Agree.
They want to be an asset to this country or to the world.
For sure.
They want to be needed. They want to help others. Like, I truly believe that people want to do that, right? And they in their core. I just don't think that they know how. And I think that they are emotionally, mentally, physically, emotionally bankrupt right now because nobody has taught them to pour into themselves. And, in the military, we have this thing called self-aid, buddy aid. Like, you get injured on the battlefield. It's, hey, try to fix the problem yourself. And then if you can't fix it, somebody else will come fix it, because try not to take somebody else out of the fight, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing in the world, right? We got to empower people to be able to really take power of their lives, to be able to really make actions instead of feeling like, when you blame the government or you blame the world for your problems, there is no hope in that.
Yeah.
Right? And if there's no hope, then people stop being good people. Right? Good is nothing more than hope. Yeah, it's about hope, right? And so what I tell people is like, the world's still good. Well, turn the TV off.
Yeah.
And watch how much good there is in the world. Like, look around you. People are good. You know what I mean? The world's still good.
I think that, yeah.
It is. The majority of the world's good. Yeah, there is evil, right?
Sure.
Like, I don't want to acknowledge that there's not people struggling, that there's not evil. Like, I'm not trying to minimize any of that, right?
Right.
There is a lot of places that are bad.
Right.
But the majority of the world is still good. And I will not back off that. You're not going to get me to back off that. You're not going to get me to back off that there is no hope left, right? Like, that's what all these places want to do, is they want to leave you hopeless. They want to leave you helpless. They want to leave you as the victim.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's
I want to talk about what you're doing today, because you're talking about obviously people as obstacles. So veterans with housing. We got a lot of vets that are on the street. We got a lot of vets. Now, my experience, I don't know if you agree, with the VA has been great. I mean, I don't like the negativity that the VA gets or the military gets. I've had amazing experiences with both the military, my service, and the VA. But I know you're advocating a lot now for helping veterans get housing.
I do that, but I also help, veterans transitioning, all that piece of it, right? I still, go and speak to tons of Marines, about, just trying to provide some type of insight that, hey, there is still hope of being there. It is still honorable to be a service member. It is still honorable to be a veteran, right? But the thing is like, even back to that, like, veterans have an obligation that still, if you want to be called a veteran, you still better live by the ethos that veterans are, right? True. Like you still have an obligation or responsibility with that title.
Right.
If you want to tell people that you were in the military, you want to tell people that you were a Marine, you know, it doesn't mean that the world owes you when you get out. Right. It means that like your uniform changed and you're still serving and being a leader inside the community and you're being a good civilian. That matters.
Right.
Right. Like
I love that.
So many people have gotten out and it's like, you know, the world owes them now.
Right.
And that's bullshit.
Yeah. Right. We join. This is a voluntary. That's one thing about our nation. This is a voluntary military.
We get to do this.
It's an honor to do this.
And so when you go out and today, like if you're going to tell anybody that you're going to still hold that title veteran, you better live up to it.
Yeah.
You know, you better be living by the standard. You better be out there getting after it. You better be making the world a better place because that's what veterans do. Veterans are leaders. They're not this class of the world that we need to be taken care of. We're taking care of others, right? That's what veterans are. We are leaders. We are hope. We are inspiration. We are the ones who say, send me in our communities when nobody else wants to. We're the ones there to do the things that others don't. That's why we served, right?
Yeah.
That's why we joined.
Heck yeah.
And that doesn't stop, right? And if we're going to claim the title veteran, you better act like one.
Yeah. Man, I can feel that energy. Dakota, man, I know you're on a schedule. One thing I like to do towards the end of the podcast, I like to ask guests to look in the camera for someone out there that's watching, that's maybe struggling, that heard anything in this, that inspired them. What would you say to them? You know,
look, like you do matter, right? Like you matter, you're important, you matter to this country, you matter to the world, right? Like anytime you think that you don't, like you know, that's just a lie inside your head, right? And so what I tell people to do is just do the next right thing. Just start with doing the next right thing. The great thing about every day being new is that, you know, whether it's a win or a fail, you still get the next day to go and decide, you know, the next results of what you are, right? Being a failure, winning and losing, failing, succeeding, all those things are nothing more than moments in time, right? And all that is going to be, how we're remembered is going to be how we go out and the good that we do on behalf of this country. So, you know, get up every single day and go out and make the world a better place. And you can never go wrong with that. You know, you talk about the most fulfilling thing that you can do is to go out and help somebody else, right? Like that is by far the most fulfilling thing that you can do.
Man, Dakota, I want to thank you, my brother, for coming on.
We got an Iron Man.
Let's do it. I if it's okay with you after,
done. I'll give you my number.
I'll keep you.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you right now, you don't run that Iron Man with me next year. Like I'm going to do it no matter what, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to unplug all one of your podcasts. I will run ads against this podcast at 2025 to make sure that you can't do your podcast past that. You're running an Iron Man.
Listen, if I put a donut in my mouth for the whole team, no, done. I'm running the Iron Man.
I got you.
Listen,
you want to do it?
I want to do it.
Right,
100%, brother.
Done.
Let me close this out real quick, and then you get out of here. Hey, everybody, this is another episode of FY Podcast. I've never felt the kind of energy I'm feeling right now. Sitting next to this guy, man, you're talking about a guy that's gone far and beyond. Google him, do your Googles, look him up. You'll see what we're talking about when we say that day. These are incredible acts. But what I got out of this podcast was knowing that side of Dakota, reading about him, and just feeling the energy that he puts out, right? He talked about it doesn't matter what we do in the past. You can't keep harping on the great thing you did. You scored that winning touchdown. You saved a life. You had a baby. You got to worry about what you're doing today that makes you the person, that makes you the hero that you are. Doesn't matter what your levels of problems are, they're all the same. We don't need to compare adversities towards each other. We got to unite. Be the best person you can on a daily basis. That's what we're here to do. He also said that our job is to make the world a better place. He got me pumped up talking about that's what we do. That's how we serve. As veterans, but it's not just as veterans, right? It's as a human beings. So let's go out. Let's make the world a better place starting right now. I promise I'm running that Iron Man. I gave my word on it. It's a deal. I needed this. I love you guys. Check us out on the next one.
You should never stress about the problems you be facing. Everybody in the mud on the struggle trying to make it. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration. I'm finding inspiration, and once I get a hold of it, I'll never get complacent. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration.